The median home price in Manhattan right now is 1.1 million. Brooklyn is 960,000. Queens is around 700,000. The Bronx is about 480,000. And Staten Island, $680,000. But here's what makes Staten Island different from the other affordable option. You're not getting a small apartment. You're getting a single-family home with a yard, a driveway, maybe a garage, top-rated schools, and you're still in New York City. So is Staten Island actually the best place to buy in New York City right now? Let me show you some data. I'm Joseph Ranola with the Bridge and Boro Team at Real Broker. I work across Staten Island and Brooklyn, so I see both markets every single day. I know the prices, the inventory, the neighborhoods, and the buyers. What I'm seeing right now is a shift. More Brooklyn families are looking at Staten Island. More first-time buyers who are priced out of their boroughs are discovering Staten Island for the first time, and the data backs it up. This isn't a sales pitch for one borough over another. I sell in both. It's just an honest look at the numbers and what they mean for buyers in 2026. Before we get into the data, I created a free Staten Island neighborhood guide that breaks down every major neighborhood, price ranges, school ratings, commute times, and what each area is known for. It's a free download. Link is in the description and pinned comment. Now let's start with the numbers that matter most, what you're paying per square foot and what you are getting for your money. In Manhattan, that median price square foot is over $1,500. Brooklyn's around $1,000. Queens is $850. Staten Island, significantly lower, $400 to $500 per square foot. Now, what does that mean in real terms? So for $740,000 on Staten Island, you can get a 1,500 to 2,000 square foot single family home. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a yard, off-street parking. For $740 in Brooklyn, you're looking at a 1-bedroom condo in a decent neighborhood or maybe a co-op with strict board requirements. In Manhattan, at $740, it's barely getting you a studio. The gap is significant. It's one of the main reasons we are seeing migration from Brooklyn and other boroughs to Staten Island, especially among families who just need a little bit more space, tired of being cooped up and sharing one bathroom and living in this little apartment. Now, I want to be upfront about one thing. Staten Island does have higher property taxes than most other boroughs. It is one of the trade-offs. The average property tax on a single-family home on Staten Island could be $5,000 to $8,000 a year, depending on the assessed value. The median is about $1,500. In Brooklyn, condo and co-op owners often pay much less in direct property taxes, though co-op maintenance includes taxes in the monthly. But here's the full picture. When you add up all monthly housing costs, mortgage payment, property taxes, insurance, HOA, maintenance fees, Staten Island homeowners often pay comparable or less per month than Brooklyn apartment owners at the same price point because of the differences in how costs are structured. The key is that Brooklyn co-ops bundle property taxes into maintenance, so buyers often don't realize how much they're actually paying. But when you compare that total monthly cost side by side at the same purchase price, numbers are usually closer than people think. And again, on Staten Island, you're getting significantly more space. The value proposition is really about what you get for your dollar. It's not just that monthly payment. Now, this is where Staten Island really shines, and it's the #1 reason families move here. Staten Island School District 31 performs above the city average in both math and reading proficiency, and what makes Staten Island stand out is the individual standout schools, right? Staten Island Tech High School is ranked among the top 10 high schools in the entire state. Several elementary and middle schools on the island consistently score well above city average. Compare that to many Brooklyn districts where school quality varies dramatically from one neighborhood to the next, and the competition for seats at the top schools is very intense. Staten Island, the average quality is more consistent. You don't have to win a lottery to get your kid into a solid school. Now, beyond schools, the quality of life for families on Staten Island is different. You have the Greenbelt, 2,800 acres of protected green space running through the middle of the island. You have waterfront parks, little league fields, community centers, and neighborhoods where kids actually play outside. It's a suburban lifestyle with a New York City address, and for families with young children, that combination is incredibly appealing. I'm not going to pretend that the commute isn't a factor. It is. Let me give you the honest breakdown. The Staten Island Ferry is free, 25 minutes from St. George to Whitehall in Lower Manhattan. Views are genuinely spectacular, right? Statue of Liberty, the skyline. If you work in the financial district or Lower Manhattan, this commute is actually very competitive. Express bus service, to me, this is the winner. This runs from multiple Staten Island neighborhoods to all the way up to Midtown Manhattan, like Central Park South. Travel time could be 45 minutes to 75 minutes, depending on traffic and your pickup location. A monthly unlimited card would cover that. Driving across to Verrazano to Brooklyn could be 10, 20, 40 minutes depending on traffic. Tolls around $7 each way with Easy Pass, but residents get a discount. For Staten Island residents, it's $2 and change each way. Is the commute longer than living in Brooklyn or Manhattan? Yes, for most destinations. Is it unmanageable? No. And with remote and hybrid work now standard for many professions, the commute calculation has shifted dramatically. You might only go into the office 2 days a week now. That's a huge difference. Plus, if you work in Brooklyn, New Jersey, or anywhere in the outer boroughs, Staten Island's location is actually pretty central. Now, the data tells a clear story. Staten Island is seeing a net inflow of residents from other New York City boroughs, always particularly Brooklyn, but now we're even pulling from Queens and other areas. The profile of the new Staten Island buyer looks like this. A millennial, young Gen X couples, usually with 1 or 2 kids, planning to start a family, dual income. They've been renting in Brooklyn or Queens and they've saved enough for a down payment, but they can't afford that $900,000 price tag to buy in their current neighborhood. On Staten Island, that same income and savings get them a 3-bedroom house with a yard, 2 bathrooms, a basement, right? They're trading a shorter commute for space, schools, and home ownership. And most of them tell me 6 months later that they wish they did this sooner. We're also seeing investors from Brooklyn looking at Staten Island's rental market. With ADUs now legal under the city of yes, the investment math on Staten Island properties is changing rapidly. 2-family home with an ADU potential is an increasingly attractive play. Now, let me give you my top 5 Staten Island neighborhoods for families buying right now. Of course, this depends on you and your needs and everything, but just generally, this is where I see the most movement. Number 1, Great Kills. Mid-Island, strong schools, easy access to the expressway, a median home price, $700,000 to $780,000. It's a mix of like capes, ranches, split levels, Great Kills Park, beach access. Sweet spot for families who want suburban comfort without going to like the far reaches of the island. Number 2, Tottenville. This is the southernmost point of New York State. Bigger lots, new construction, waterfront access. The median is $650,000 to $750,000. Conference House Park is stunning. The trade-off is a longer commute, but the lifestyle is pretty nice. Number 3, Annandale. Quiet, residential, strong community feel. Median is $680,000 to $740,000. Excellent elementary schools, close to shopping, very close to the expressway. This is a neighborhood where people buy and you'll be here for 20 years. Number 4, Eltingville. Similar to Great Kills, but slightly more affordable. The median is $650,000 to $720,000. Good school options, access to the train, the bus lines, very popular with first-time buyers. You have the Eltingville Transit Center. You get on any express bus on the borough right there. Very convenient. And number 5 is Huguenot. Mid to South Shore, peaceful, wooded lots, median around $660,000 to $740,000. If you want space and privacy while still being on Staten Island, Huguenot delivers. So where is Staten Island headed in the next 3 to 5 years? So here's what I'm watching. Prices are going to continue rising, but at a moderate pace, I would think. The affordability gap between Staten Island and Brooklyn is the main driver of demand. That gap isn't closing anytime soon because we're going up, but so is Brooklyn. The North Shore is seeing significant development and revitalization. The area around the ferry terminal, Bay Street Corridor, St. George are attracting new restaurants, retail, residential products. This is going to change the perception of Staten Island for a lot of people. There are huge buildings going up everywhere there. ADU legislation under City of Yes is going to boost property values for homes with potential to convert. If you buy a single-family home with a legal basement or garage, a conversion opportunity could add $100,000 or more in potential value to your house. So my honest take is that Staten Island in 2026 is where Brooklyn was maybe 15 years ago in terms of perception and affordability. The people who buy now are going to look very smart, even maybe 5 years from now. But look, Staten Island is not for everyone. If you need to be in Manhattan 5 days a week and a 25-minute ferry ride doesn't appeal to you, or maybe 45 minutes to an hour on the express bus, it's not the right fit, and that's okay. But if you are a family looking for space, good schools, and a home that you can actually afford in New York City, there is no better option right now. The data does back it up. If you want to explore what's available and what your budget can get you on Staten Island, I would love to help. I offer free buyer consultations. I do 5 or 10 of these a week. We'll go over your goals, your budget. I'll show you exactly what's out there. The link to book is in the description, and grab that free neighborhood guide to start your research. I'm Joseph with the Bridge and Boro Team. I'll see you on the next one.